In the heart of Enugu, there lived a young wealthy man named Chike Okofor. Chike had everything money could buy: luxury cars, mansions, a thriving business empire, and a family name that commanded respect. Yet, for all his wealth, he longed for one thing that money could never guarantee: true love. Chike was in his early 30s, tall, handsome, and well-educated. Many women desired him, not just because of his wealth but also because he carried himself with humility. After years of pressure from family and friends to settle down, Chike finally met a woman who seemed to be the answer to his prayers, Adis. Adis was beautiful in every sense of the word. Her skin glowed like polished bronze. Her smile lit up a room, and her voice was as soft as morning dew. To everyone around them, she was the perfect bride for Chike. She came from a respected family, carried herself with grace, and appeared to love Chike deeply. For months, their relationship blossomed, and soon, wedding preparations began. Chike spared no expense. He wanted their union to be remembered as one of the grandest weddings in Enugu. From the decor to the music, everything was carefully planned. Friends, family, and dignitaries from across Nigeria received invitations, but unknown to Chike, a storm was brewing beneath the surface. Behind Adis' charming smile was a secret that could shatter Chike's world. Long before she met Chike, Adis had been in love with another man, Obinna, Chike's closest friend since childhood. Chike and Obinna had grown up together in the same neighborhood, attended the same schools, and even started their first business together. Though life later pulled them into different paths, their bond remained unshaken. Chike trusted Obinna with his life. He never imagined that the very brother he loved would be hiding something so dangerous. Obinna, unlike Chike, was not as wealthy. He struggled with business failures and disappointments. But he had one thing Chike never had: Adis' heart. When Adis met Chike, she didn't plan to betray her love for Obinna. But the pressure from her family was overwhelming. To them, marrying Chike was the golden opportunity of a lifetime. They reminded her of how much security, comfort, and prestige she would gain. And so, torn between love and family expectations, Adis agreed to marry Chike, burying her feelings for Obinna deep within her heart, or so she thought. As the wedding day approached, the tension between Adis and Obinna grew unbearable. Obinna tried to distance himself from the couple, but fate had other plans. Chike insisted that Obinna should be his best man. "My brother," Chike said with a smile one evening, "you've always been by my side. I can't imagine standing at that altar without you." Obinna forced a smile and agreed, though his heart was breaking. Finally, the wedding day arrived. The church was filled with guests dressed in elegant lace, flowing abbadas, and sparkling jewelry. The choir's voices rose like angels, and the scent of fresh flowers filled the air. Chike stood at the altar in a white suit, his face glowing with joy. Beside him, Obinna stood as best man, his smile masking the storm raging in his chest. When the church doors opened and Adis walked in, the entire congregation gasped. She looked breathtaking in her flowing white gown, her veil shimmering under the lights. Chike's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. He silently thanked God for blessing him with such a woman, but as Adis walked slowly down the aisle, her eyes met Obinna's. It was just for a second, but in that second, the truth became visible to Obinna, to Adis, and tragically, to Chike himself, who noticed the lingering gaze. Chike brushed it off at first, thinking it was nerves. But as the ceremony continued, he began to sense something unusual. Adis' hands trembled when the vows were read. Her voice cracked when she said, "I do." And when it was time to exchange rings, a tear slipped from her eyes, not of joy, but of conflict. The final blow came when the priest asked if anyone had a reason why the couple should not be joined together in holy matrimony. The church grew silent. Chike's heart raced. He looked at Adis and then at Obinna. Obinna's face was pale, his fist clenched. And then, before anyone could stop him, Obinna stepped forward. Obinna's legs trembled as he stepped forward. Every pair of eyes in the church turned to him. The priest, startled, asked gently, "My son, do you have something to say?" Obina's lips quivered. For a moment, he wanted to sit back down, swallow his pain, and let the ceremony continue. But the weight on his chest was unbearable. He could no longer hide the truth. With a shaky voice, he spoke, "Father, brothers and sisters, I cannot remain silent. This marriage cannot go on." The congregation erupted in murmurs. Chike's smile froze, his eyes widening in disbelief. Adi's veil fluttered as she gasped, her knees weakening. "What do you mean?" The priest asked, Obina's eyes filled with tears. "I am sorry, my brother Chike. But Adis is in love with me. She has always been. Even now, standing at this altar, her heart belongs to me, not to you." A loud cry escaped Adi's lips as she covered her face with trembling hands. The church broke into confusion. Family members stood in shock, guests whispered furiously, and the choir looked at each other helplessly. Chike staggered backward as if he had been stabbed. His chest tightened, and sweat drenched his forehead. He turned to Adis, hoping Obina's words were lies, a cruel mistake. "Adis, tell them it's not true," Chike pleaded, his voice breaking. "Tell them you love me. Tell them he's lying." But Adis' silence screamed louder than any words. Tears streamed down her face as she fell to her knees. "I'm so sorry, Chike," she sobbed. "I never meant to hurt you. My family pressured me. They wanted me to marry you because of your wealth, your status. But my heart has always been Obina's. I tried to bury it, I tried to let you in, but every time I looked at him, I knew I was living a lie." Chike's world shattered in that instant. The woman he thought was his soulmate, the woman he had invested his love, his trust, and his dreams in, had been standing beside him with another man in her heart. Worse still, that man was the very friend he trusted most in the world. The whole fell into chaos. Some shouted at Adis for her deceit. Others scolded Obine for betraying his brotherhood with Chike. A few even wept at the tragic scene unfolding before their eyes. Chike could not bear the noise. He turned, walking slowly out of the church, his vision blurred with tears. His heart pounded painfully, every step heavier than the last. Outside, the bright Enugu sun shone cruelly, as if mocking his sorrow. Obina ran after him. "Chike, please, my brother, forgive me. I never meant for it to happen this way. I loved her before you, but I didn't know she would become yours. I tried to let her go, but..." Chike spun around, his voice thunderous. "Enough." His eyes blazed with a mixture of pain and anger. "You, my brother, my confidant, you knew, and yet you stood by my side as I planned this wedding. You wore the suit of a best man while carrying a heart of betrayal. I trusted you with my life, Obina. And you, Adis," his voice cracked as he pointed toward her, now kneeling at the church entrance. "You took my love, my trust, and turned it into a mockery. You would have walked into my home as my wife, while secretly belonging to another. Is this the love I prayed for? Is this the blessing I thought God had given me?" Silence fell. Adis sobbed uncontrollably. Obina lowered his head, ashamed. Chike lifted his hands to the sky, tears streaming down his cheeks. "God, why? Why would you allow this to happen?" But in that painful silence, a strange calm washed over him. He realized the truth: better a broken heart today than a lifetime of deceit tomorrow. He took a deep breath, wiped his tears, and turned his gaze upon the crowd. "There will be no wedding today," Chike declared firmly. "Let it be known, I would rather walk alone in truth than build a family upon lies. Adis, Obina. May God forgive you both. As for me, I will heal, I will rise, and I will love again someday, but never with betrayal in my home." Gasps echoed through the congregation. Some nodded in agreement, admiring Chike's strength. Others shook their heads in pity. But Chike walked away, his shoulders heavy yet his spirit refusing to break. In the weeks that followed, the scandal spread across Enugu like wildfire. Many ridiculed Addis for choosing love over wealth but hiding it in lies. Others condemned Obinna for betraying his brotherhood. As for Chike, he became a symbol of strength and dignity. Though his heart was broken, he carried himself with grace. Months later, Chike focused on his businesses and his faith. He refused to allow bitterness to consume him. And in time, he found love again, this time with a woman who valued his heart more than his wealth. A woman who walked with him in truth, not in pretense. Meanwhile, Addis and Obinna's love, born out of betrayal, could not stand the test of time. Trust never grew between them, for how could it? If she betrayed one man for Obinna, what guarantee was there she wouldn't betray Obinna too? Their relationship crumbled under guilt, suspicion, and shame. Chike's story became a lesson to many young men and women. Marriage is not built on beauty, wealth, or family pressure. It is built on truth, loyalty, and love. Without this, even the grandest wedding will end in ashes. Moral of the story: betrayal, no matter how well hidden, always comes to light. True love is never forced, it flows in truth and loyalty. Better a broken engagement than a broken marriage. Wealth may attract people, but only truth and loyalty sustain relationships.